Serious. People with anxiety. What is the thing that calms you down whilst you're having an attack? Music. Personally, I've been able to recognize once it's coming on and almost embrace it. I tell myself that it's going to be okay and it will be normal again in 10 minutes. Usually, with that thought, I'm more calm within 1 minute. Deep breathing. Count to 5 for each inhale and exhale. Tell loved ones to leave you alone but stay close so that you can focus. Reduce outside noise. I picture a wheel spinning clockwise. Then I try to spin it counterclockwise. When you have the ability to do this, it shows you that you can control your thoughts. If only I had the ability to do this. Apparently it helps a lot, but I have aphantasia. CBD gummy bears. I don't want to overstate this, but CBD cured my panic disorder. That's great. CBD did nothing for me though. Sad face. Xanax. Myself. When I focus on breathing techniques like lots of people suggest, it actually makes me worse. 'Cause I overanalyze it. My breathing is shallower than normal. I'm breathing slower, etc. So I tend to distract myself either by singing silently to myself or creating a rhythm on a table or something. I draw my attention away from my body and the panic attack as a whole and focus on something external. A lot of the times an anxiety attack is just an inappropriate fight or flight response. Cranked up. So leaving this situation and going for a brisk walk not only lets you clear your head and forces you to breathe, it can literally trick your brain into thinking you've ran away from whatever danger set it off. It isn't guaranteed to help every time, but it's a lifesaver for some people. I'm glad that works for you. I wish I could do something similar. If I'm having an issue with anxiety, I feel like I'm going to fall over constantly and have to cling onto the floor. Really sucks. Lexapro. I take deep breaths and try and distract myself from whatever's caused the attack. Since I'm kept awake from it, I try and watch TV or play a video game or something of the like. I mainly just distract myself to calm myself down. And if that doesn't work, I just cry. Blankets and hoodies. Most of my panic attacks and anxiety comes from dysphoria and homophobia, transphobia, so just becoming a blob of blankets helps me. It also helps to stop me from hurting myself if the panic attack comes from my PTSD. Haven't figured it out yet. It's been years. Yes, I know the methods that many people use. Breathing, observing, giving yourself permission to feel the moment, exiting the situation, other mindful steps, etc. And quite simply, the grip of an attack is too tight. I can't beat it. The impulse and need to fix it is far too strong. I absolutely must stay in it until I can resolve at least a little bit. It simply will not release. It's easily the closest thing I can feel akin to an uncontrollable, self-destructive addiction. I hate it. What I normally do is I just breathe at a slow pace, and that usually works for me. My sensory stuffy Mr. Mittens. I am 18 and still have him after 13. Sometimes simple tasks that I can accomplish in a short time triggers a sense of control and reminds me that mundane tasks are more realistic than the irrational fears I'm obsessing about. The difficult part is recognizing the anxiety attack and wait long enough to start the task. I also find sometimes my anxiety is actually my body misinterpreting something I'm happily excited about and looking forward to. I tie a hair elastic into a knot and then untie it repeatedly until I feel calm as sure. Like most others so far, I use breathing techniques. Mine boils down to focusing only on my breathing. Nothing else. Once that's stable, I sniff a few terpenes, so to speak. The more limonene and CBD the better. I try to focus on other things to distract myself. I'll start counting things, describe in my mind the details of an object I see, listen to music while singing along, video game or daydreaming. I imagine I'm floating alone in deep space with only the stars shining around me. Focus on calm breathing and thinking positively and rationally to bring my heart rate down. Meditation. I gave practiced enough now that I can drop easily into a calm and detached state almost instantly. Takes regular practice though. I practice twice a day for around 15 minutes each time for 6 months before I started to benefit. Steady breathing regulates all emotions back to neutral state. Not deep breathing. Just consistent pace breathing. Not too fast or short or shallow. Just steady. Music. But stuff like Metallica, Avenged Sevenfold, FFDPECT. Exercise. But stuff like a hard CrossFit WOD or a heavy leg day is best need intensity. I lay down and run my fingers across my forearms. It's relaxing. If I'm in public, I'll find a spot to be alone and I sing lullabies my mother sang to me. Having my arms stroked is my #1 cure. I tell myself, repeatedly and in a soothing way, not telling myself off because that works me up even more. No, 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 you are not doing this right now. You are not going to let this happen. Focus. Just focus. I concentrate on my breathing, usually counting to 10 then backward to 0 over and over. And I visualize a version of me holding me, stroking my hair and saying, no, you're not going to do this. You don't need to do this. Sometimes it's really effective. Other time the wave comes anyway and nothing really works. Hearing the words, "It's okay," from a voice that is close to you can really help in this situation. Also, ASMR. I imagine that I am a wet sponge, gathering thoughts like water while I inhale, pouring them out at each exhalation, like I was being pressed. It sounds silly, but this visualization exercises calms me down in about 3 minutes. I used to puke whenever I was having lots of anxiety, and I found that any distractions work. I personally enjoy calm video games like Minecraft, Stardew Valley, and Animal Crossing. I can never be without something to take my mind off of it. I don't have severe anxiety and I won't pretend I do. But I know from others and myself that listening to your favorite hymns and just focusing on the lyrics and the power can help tremendously. Things that make your brain work are best during panic attacks. I personally scan the room and count how many blue things there are. Doing things that are relaxing during a panic attack doesn't work for a lot of people because it takes too long to get your brain to slow down that much. Better to just distract until it goes away in my experience. I don't have anxiety but my ex-girlfriend did, and the way I calmed her down was by fully embracing her, bear hugging her, and if she hears my heartbeat she will calm down. Maybe it's strange, but see other people with stress or having an attack makes me feel like I'm not alone. So that calms me a lot. Or just have the support of my friends and pets. At the beginning of an attack I get as small and as grounded as I can and just try and control myself. But as I gain more control, I start using a tapping technique I was taught in counseling. You start off by tapping with one hand, the middle of both your collarbones, both sides of the V shape made from your neck, with your thumb and first 2 fingers. And you would do this for around 10 seconds. Can be more, but basically is until you feel calm enough to move on. Next, using your first 2 fingers again, you tap the bridge of your nose in between your eyes. Each tapping phase should be around the same amount of time to keep with the flow. After the bridge of your nose, you begin to move in a question mark shape. Choosing the side of your body your hand is. You move to tapping your temple next to your eye, then under your eye, where you'd expect bags to be. Then to the center of your face on your philtrum, the bit above the cupid's bow, and then on your chin. Finally, you move your 2 fingers to the sensitive area of skin in the dip below your collarbone and, adding a slight bit of pressure, move your fingers in a circular motion for the same time period as all previous tapping motions, before returning back to tapping between the collarbones. The tapping points are set at certain points of your body that are extra sensitive, I guess, and are very relaxing. During my counseling, we often spoke different phrases during each tapping phrase. E.g., everything is okay. I am calm. The emotions I'm feeling now are normal. The emotions I'm feeling will pass. I am strong, etc., which can also really help at calming you down, as it becomes physical reassurance and not something inside your mind, which is already going at 100 miles per hour. There's also other tapping points, one of which is on the side of your hand in between your little finger and wrist, known as the karate chop, which can be tapped by the other hand, and is a good technique to be used when suffering from anxiety in a public place. Looking into it, the technique is called F-tapping. Since leaving counseling, I thought if I had a panic attack, there's no way it would work when I was by myself. But when I eventually had an attack, I tried it, and lo and behold, it worked. So, thank you, Jan. I truly believe that women saved my life. Edit. Spelling. I have been trying really hard to learn meditation and cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. Also, stretching and other physical activity helps a lot. Music. Diazepam and rectangular breathing. A knitting project to work on. When my meds aren't readily available to me, I often seclude myself, close my eyes, and just don't think. I try to turn my brain off and just stare into the back of my eyelids. This helps with the overactive thoughts that cluster my mind. I've slowly weaned myself off of needing my medication, except for severe attacks that won't stop, because I want to learn how to cope in a healthier way for my body. When my brain won't turn off, though, I try to think of a song that I am into and sing it to the best of my ability to help keep my moms on a different subject. Personally, for me, it's things tightly wrapped around me, just like tight clothes, or my best friend hugging me tightly. If I'm hyperventilating, then a paper bag is my go-to. I also like music coming through my headphones or big ear muffs that kids who are sensitive to sound wear. I also have autism. I have a chew toy that I chew on to calm me down. It's really easy to make me cry, like if someone yells at me, it triggers my PTSD and I'll start crying right away. If I'm alone and I'm in class or populated area or something, then I go somewhere quieter, wrap myself in the fetal position, plug my ears and focus on my breathing, and possibly call a friend to help me calm down in that moment. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.